Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Interview. I'm Sean Aylmer. Yesterday, the second US presidential debate took place, and it was a vastly different experience to the first a couple of months ago. This was Vice President Kamala Harris taking on former President Donald Trump, the first time the pair have gone head-to-head. In fact, according to some reports, it was actually the first time they'd ever met. And it was a wide-ranging debate covering everything from immigration and abortion to race identity and the judicial system. Bruce Wolpe is a senior fellow, non-resident at the United States Studies Center. He has worked with the Democrats in Congress during President Barack Obama's first term. Last year, he published Trump's Australia, which looks at the potential for Donald Trump to return to the presidency and what that means for Australia. Bruce, welcome back to Fear and Greed.
Great to be with you, Sean. What could be more fearful or greedy than a presidential debate?
So true, so true. So who won?
Oh, I think Kamala Harris won. I mean, I think she took him apart, and I think he took himself apart throughout the debate. I mean, they covered all the issues that you cited, but it really was what transpired between the two of them. I think she showed herself to be fit for the presidency. A lot of people going into the debate, a lot of people said they don't know enough about her. They kind of like her, but she hadn't defined herself. And I think just all the things she talked about from the economy and so forth to what she did in Europe with Zelensky and NATO and so forth showed that she is up for the presidency. And I think he showed himself, not to his base. I don't think he lost one vote from those who are supporting him so far, but to undecided voters, those who voted for Biden in 2020 but have not yet declared for Trump. These are young voters, Black voters, Hispanic voters, women, some men. I think she gave them reason to come home. And I think Republicans who had doubts about Trump, not happy. There were 15% of Republicans in the primaries did not vote for Trump. And then Dick Cheney last week endorsed Harris. So I think she was able to reach them. So I think she showed for those people that he's unfit to return to the presidency. I think it was a clear win for her yesterday.
We'll get on to the more ridiculous moments in the debate shortly. But what about was there anything in there from Trump that you thought maybe he did a good job on? I think most pundits are saying he was outpointed, but were there things that he actually came through looking okay?
His two strongest buttons that he keeps pushing are the economy and inflation and immigration. He kept pushing those buttons. I actually think he did his best at the closing statement, in which he said, "You've been there 3.5 years. Why didn't you do all these things that you said you were doing?" But I think it was too late. And so he didn't gain as much. If he had opened with that, I think he would have been in a much stronger position. But all of his frailties, I mean, he goes down meandering paths into God knows where. He can't string, a concept together and really explain it in depth. And that was evident for everyone to see. Again, his fans, they love it. It's like a Taylor Swift concert. Bad news for him. She endorsed Kamala Harris right after the debate.
239 million followers. That is bad news. What about some of those criticisms of Kamala Harris, immigration being the big one? He certainly hounded that. Do you think he scored points against her on that?
Oh, I think he scores points against her on that. Now, she has a defense, which she put out, which is, hey, we worked out a bipartisan tough immigration deal and you killed it because you'd rather have the issue. That's true. But the issue still exists. And you know the power of immigration here in Australia. As soon as you push that button, Gaza refugees or any boats arriving, it sinks in. And inflation, it's the same story here too. Again, cost of living pressures are really, really tough. And interest rates are still really, really high. And so, yeah, you take a hit on that. So the question is, can those combined hits actually take her down? And I think she has enough strength on other issues and in what she said about those and what she wants to do as president. I think she cushioned herself a bit. But this race is still so close. I mean, going into it, it's absolutely tied at the national level on the popular vote. And in the swing states, it's tied in 7 out of 7 swing states. It's within 2 or 3 points. So that's where it is. So she has not won this. I was in the States, for an extended period, just got back about 10 days ago. And what I saw from Democrats was, oh, she's in there. She's got this nailed. She's going to win. No, it's even at best. And he is still fully competitive.
Stay with me, Bruce. We'll be back in a minute. I'm speaking to Bruce Wolpe from the United States Studies Center. Okay, I need to ask you about cat eating or something like that. There's one of the more extraordinary moments. Trump's reference to immigrants stealing and eating pets in Springfield, Ohio. Now, the moderators did intervene. What do you make of that?
It's insipid and ridiculous, but nevertheless, that's now part of the Trump culture and the wars that he prosecutes, and he believes it. So it's sort of like believing, well, we didn't land on the moon or something like that. So everyone outside of the Trump base, the Trump movement, the Trump cult, look at this and say, what? And so he hurt himself with that. He really did.
70 to 80 million people are expected to have watched the debate yesterday. What do you think their impression will be walking away from it?
Well, again, most people, when you watch a political debate, and the same thing here as it is in the United States, you go in with, well, I like the liberals, I like labor or whatever, and you come out on the same side. It doesn't change your mind. And I think that really happened here. If you were for Harris, you're with her, and the same thing for Trump. But again, there are those constituencies that are yet still undecided and in play, in which I think she was able to reach them more effectively. So we'll find out if in the next 3, 4, 5 days or the week, if she can open up a lead outside of the margin of error in the polling. And if she can do that, normally by mid-September, we're almost there, but we still have some time. By mid-September, in the past 4 or 5 elections, the winner has had a measurable lead in mid-September. So we will see if, in fact, that emerges for her.
You mentioned Taylor Swift as an offhand remark, but it actually does matter. 239 million followers. And she came out immediately afterwards and said, Kamala Harris stands up for the sort of things that I like, I stand up for. She also, I don't know, did you see, she posted a picture of herself with a cat. She called herself a childless cat lady. But, how important is it?
It's very important because one of the biggest deficits that Harris has is she's behind where Biden was with young voters in the 2020 election. So, yeah, I think she's probably worth a lot of votes. And I don't think her involvement with the campaign is over today. I think she'll do some more things in the weeks ahead.
When we last spoke about 6 weeks ago, Kamala Harris had just taken the nomination. You were very cautious in terms of, you said, look, she'll get a boost in the first few weeks, but let's see what the battleground states are saying, a month later. Now we're a month or 6 weeks later. She's certainly, and yesterday showing, she's certainly in with a shot here.
She's in with a shot and where she's leading, but again, within the margin of error with Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. If she wins those 3 and forgets the rest of them and the other states perform as they have over 4 decades, she'll win the election, barely. But the other states are still in play. But he's in play with them too. And you could see in the debate, he hammered it. They were in Philadelphia. Pennsylvania, absolutely crucial. It seems to me the person who wins Pennsylvania wins the election. And he went after her on fracking, big energy industry in Pennsylvania, kept hammering it and hammering it. So it's not locked. It's going to be tense for weeks yet to come. There are 55 days left. It's going to be tense.
Bruce, I always ask this question. You never answer it. Who's going to win?
I still can't tell you. I'm sorry.
Come on. We need more than that.
If she does, coming off this debate and bringing in these voters that are undecided, and she does have a 5-point lead by the end of next week, then I'd say, yeah, she's going to win. And I think Trump, she clearly got under his skin.
Yeah, she did.
And he started really going down rabbit holes. And if he keeps, people will now be alert to that more. Biden was seen as cognitively disabled. I think Trump is far worse in his condition than Biden, but people haven't seen it as much because the journalists have not covered it as much. And now I think that's a big issue.
What do you think the Trump campaign will do? They're in a fight now. He has stuck with the politics of abuse, for want of a better term, of anyone that's running against him, and stayed away from policy broadly, certainly no detailed policy. Do you think they'll maintain that in the next 55 days? Everything
that we saw in the debate, everything we've seen leading up to the debate, he's going to stick with. So, she's a radical Marxist. He called her a Marxist in the debate. Your father was a Marxist. He's going to double down on the immigration issue, on the inflation issue, on the trade issue, and everything that he says he will play offense. He's not interested in converting Democrats. He's interested in making sure all of his voters vote, and he believes in his heart and mind if they all vote, there's no way he loses. So that's what he's going to do. It's the same game plan.
It's going to be fun. Bruce, thank you for talking to Fear and Greed.
Sean, I really appreciate it.
That was Bruce Wolpe, Senior Fellow Non-Resident at the United States Studies Centre. This is the Fear and Greed Business Interview. Join us every morning for the full episode of Fear and Greed, business news for people who make their own decisions. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your day.